Hey, good evening, and it's welcome to another episode of the daily recap session of the market. Okay, I hope everyone is doing all right and everyone had a good day. And of course, it's the final trading day of October. So should I say we've only got we've got 2 months to go to the end of the year, and yeah, so here goes. It's a it's a very, very unique one right here. I think I've been capturing this for a while now anyway. Been talking about the jump in SPY, and as you can see right here, it just forms its own perfect separated island in the sky. And I mean, of course, wouldn't say as predicted, but as evidence, we could actually see what's going on here, and it's forming back of giving a cup, forming back a cup just like that, just to confirm. Yes, the bull is still intact. But I think this is a pullback that we have been calling for a while right now. So yes, um, not a lot of worries at all. I think this is an aggressively bullish market, but of course, and it's not as, how do I say, not a spread, but of course we think this is it's concentrated in a few positions as we had today. Actually, we looked at Apple after hours. It was a it it wasn't a blowout per se, but they had at the conference call, I think, Apple got a proper lift, which I probably will say was well deserved because given iPhone 17. But I'm looking at this from a trading angle or trading aspect, and as we can see, Apple is right there at an all-time high. And yeah, so I mean, they're pushing for more liquidity up there. Also, Amazon, huge, huge, huge bumper earnings. I think Amazon is after hours right now at 250. It's we had about was it 12% jump, which is crazy, 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 of course. So I know the AWS had a few issues, but overall, it's been what's been pushing Amazon. I think that's literally their main goal, the bread and butter, if I can say, apart from the other services they provide. But you look, Amazon is just an amazing company. Of course, Meta, the collapse from yesterday, it was felt all the way until today. We could see that 666 dump right here. Some people were buying the dip, of course, and I would definitely say that's actually a respectable level, to buy Meta. It kind of, I mean, for emphasis sake, it went back into, should we call it the Liberation April, just right to the Liberation April level, which 2025, which is, should I say, it's it's symbolic. That's the key. That's the key word. It is symbolic right here. And of course, quite a reversion, not exactly to the mean, but great points there. If you're buying the deep, I mean, it's up to you really. But do I think it's going to go further? I mean, Meta is just a magnificent company right there. 1.67, still acting like a growth company. Of course, it's a growth company, but massive, massive, massive. Didn't really play or look at Meta today. I think the quantums again, they had the odd lift again, RGTI, QBTS. I mean, just paying attention to them on the side. Also, again, we do have the Fed saying they are looking to reduce the bank supervision staff by 30% by the end of next year. It will leave the division with about 350 people. So, according to an internal memo seen by this from the Wall Street Journal, the cuts were announced during the morning meeting, and the banking supervision arm, it manages the Fed's oversight and regulation of thousands of bank holding companies and state chartered banks. I mean, we've got to understand there's a weakness in the economy and it's affecting different aspects. Even YouTube mentioned yesterday, they didn't exactly use the term cutting staff. They talked about working smart. Of course, we know they want to reduce the headcount. I've just over the few days, I've talked about huge, huge headcount across the sectors. Again, the US China, this is what literally made today's trade. The US China trade truce, which brings a little peace for businesses caught in the superpower standoff. US tariff on Chinese goods remain historically high, and Beijing is keeping a strict regimen for critical mineral export. US businesses say the years-long trend of moving production out of China is here to stay, and the fear conflict between the two countries could erupt again. Again, also from Wall Street Journal, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney wants to repair relations with China to offset damage from US tariff on Canadian exports as well. This was what we woke up to President Trump saying. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Just going to post it here, actually, if I can find it. I think it's somewhere here on my notes. And sure, I could find it. Let's see. Okay, not yet. I couldn't find it. No, couldn't find it actually. I thought I could. But anyway, that's what we woke up to today. And I probably could have just called it a Taco Thursday. Taco Thursday. Also, yeah, Apple reported record September quarter sales powered by strong consumer demand for the new iPhone 17 and continued growth in its service businesses or service business. But overall, I mean, as I was saying there's evidence of weakness in the economy. And if we look into a few. Yes, the markets had huge bumper earnings, but the ones who did not, they were extremely, punished, if I can say. Chipotle today was aggressively down, battered 18%, down over 18%. Look, that is just, yeah, also, we do have, even on the, yeah, we do have CLF as well, which is battered. We're talking about double figures. Even Kavana, that's 13%. Kavana, again, I've actually been bearish Kavana. I don't know why. Um, I think it's had an amazing run from three. That's just incredible in 1 year, 2023, all the way to, that is just incredible run. But I think it just ran too fast. I don't fully know much about the details. It's more of the technicals. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, based on my analysis, I'm looking at Kavana a lot lower than 300 at some point. So also Kava got battered as well. Kava was 11% down, which is about, yeah, 7 points down. But look at Kava. Since Kava made that run, let's just look at this year alone. Since Kava made that run right here, July, or here, 2025 in May, 100, it's been cut in half right now. So we're looking at Kava right here. It's getting to that point. I think anything restaurants, I mean, you could look at them here. They're not exactly doing particularly well. Source is another one I'm looking at, similar to Kava, not doing great. Likewise, the even Deckers, looking at that retail aspect, Deckers has been battered, Target battered as well. So, sometimes you deliver good earnings, you get battered, and sometimes you don't. So it's a reflection of the general sentiment. And this actually tells us that the market is definitely weakening. That's all I can say. Then we do have OPEC. They've, called for meeting again. And guess what happened? Destroyed the oil. I mean, oil was just showing a bit of strength, but generally the trend for oil is down. I can't see, yes, I'm seeing some buys sometimes, but one key pointer here is that among all the Magnificent Seven, it's quite interesting. Tesla is the only one that does not touch all-time high in 2027. It's been a bit of a yo-yo. It's been a bit of a yo-yo, but sometimes you probably need that weakness to be able to push it back up. Today is generally weak across the board with the market. So it's not pertaining to particular stocks, but we do have some which are on the move, and they've been holding and trying to hold the market. Unfortunately, Meta couldn't hold it up today. The market was looking at Apple to save the day. Even Palantir, I think Palantir crossed 190 yesterday, and we thought it was going to get 200. Yeah, 199.85 all-time high Palantir, which has been incredible. But of course, today he had a little bit of a down day of about 2%. So These things are happening generally across the board. We'll see how tomorrow plays out. Hopefully, Amazon holds out tomorrow, Apple, and then we can decide on, which other ones we can play. But I think right now, the times when you just have to relax and wait and let the markets play out. So generally, I'm watching, not particularly playing anything. But wow, tomorrow is going to be another very busy day. We do have about 100 and is it 135? Let me see. Tomorrow Friday, sorry, do have about 96 companies. Oh wow. XOM, this is ExxonMobil, which is one right there. Is that tomorrow? Yeah, 31st. We do have ExxonMobil. Tomorrow is the last trading day of the month of October. We have XOM, we have ABBV. So, XOM is actually not been doing too bad. ABBV, AbbVie. I mean, I was going to talk about also CVX, Chevron. Yeah, CVX as well. So, ABBV. So Chevron is one I am. I wouldn't say I have an exposure to, but I'm paying close attention to Chevron, paying close attention to XOM because SLB, SLB had actually performed very well this week. And if these two oil could catch beats, we know oil prices are down. SLB performed very well and it's actually just taking the rest. I mean, look at that, the resistance zone right there. So if SLBs performed very well. So hopefully XOM and CVX could sympathize alongside line. But I've been looking at the what's it called? The drillers as well, the oil drillers on the side. We'll see how these guys play. But we do have some companies. I mean, it's just been an incredibly busy week this week. And it's been mixed earnings, and that's why generally we had a broad weakness in the market. Pre or after hours, net is actually up. It's not been displayed here, but net is up by how much? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's up by 10%. It's up 21 points almost. So net is up. So yeah, well, I mean, this might, even Moderna, this might give the market the lift that it needs tomorrow because I think when the market doesn't move, it gets very, very brutal. But we'll see how it goes tomorrow. And yeah, so see you guys on the field tomorrow. And of course, if you are down and you're going, it's a long-term position. It's probably an opportunity for you to add to your some of your positions and just instead of just leaving it there, because a lot of times we say when the market is down, it is an opportunity. But generally, what's your thoughts? Is it an October or is it a Bloodtober? I think a lot of people say, no, no, it's a Bloodtober, it's a bad Tober. It hasn't been great, the Rectober. But for me, I am up by, I mean, if I'm going to look at the month today, it's not been a bad month actually for me. Yeah, slightly up by about 4%. And again, year to date, still going on 99% year to date. So that's actually a great month. But of course, one month does not judge the entire year. So, but anyway, catch you guys on the field tomorrow and wishing everyone a great trading day. Take care and see you soon. Bye bye.